right, guys, welcome to the Ravit Show. I'm in a different setup today. I'm trying new things. I've moved out the big ear headphones, but just trying and doing some things. If you guys can hear me well, just let me know that you can hear me well and keep me posted about that. Okay, so talking about today's guest, I have a very special guest. He's the CEO and founder of Lyftron data. We'll be talking about his journey today about Lyftron data and how to automate pipelines from ServiceNow to Snowflake with Lyftron. You can definitely ask questions to Javed Syed, who's the CEO of Lyftron data, about the different things that he's been doing with Lyftron data and the great services they've been providing. So yeah, before calling in Javed, I would obviously want to thank our gold partners, 365 Data Science and How to Get Analytics by Albert and John. So guys, do not forget to follow them. But okay, I should have Javed now up here. Hey Javed, welcome to the Ravit Show.
Hey, thank you, Ravit, and thank you everybody for having me here on this show.
Amazing, Javed. So I was just telling them how about Lyftron data and how we built it. Obviously, we would want to know more about you, about Lyftron data. So can you introduce yourself, Javed?
Yeah, actually, I have been in the industry for the last 20 years, been engaged with the overall implementation, end-to-end implementation with different MNCs, with top 5 MNCs of in the US and around the world. So being in the industry, so I found that there is a big gap in the industry because we were doing a lot of custom coding and there are a lot of struggle being going on. There is a lot of bottlenecks in the traditional platforms. And that's where the idea of Lyftron data was born. And that's what we started working on it to bring something simple, which will make life easy for everybody who is a part of a data management lifecycle. So Lyftron data is basically combined anybody and everybody who engage with data management group. It could be a data analyst, it could be a developer, it could be a data architect, ETL developers, BI analysts, your data scientists. All of these people can collaborate and work on a single platform together.
Okay, that's quite some journey and that's quite some service that you guys are already providing. Also, Javed, I wanted to know a little background about Lyftron data, how it happened and what it is about, and why Lyftron data? Like, what's the is there a story behind the name as well? I can see Lyftron data ninja on your t-shirt, which is very cool.
Yeah, that's correct. I think the main idea behind Lyftron was because we were trying to help a different organization to move the data from their on-premise back in the cloud. So that thing is called Lyft. And then Tron means you're moving from one point to another point. And then we combine the data together. That's where the Lyftron data came into existence.
Okay, that sounds very fair to me, at least with the name, and it looks like a great stuff that you've put out together. Okay, Javed, also wanted to know a little about your journey, about the data life cycle, and about your early days, how you've started, how you've come here, for the audience to get just of an idea about the person who's behind Lyftron Data, who's the founder of Lyftron Data. So can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, actually, I start my early days started with my education. I did my bachelor's from MIT, from Bangalore, right? And after that in Manipal University. And then after that, I started my career out of Bangalore in 2002. And then been work with TCS and joined them. And then they put me in South Africa, worked there for a couple of years with EFSA, and then came to US for AOL. And then been working in here in the data management space as well. So I have led many different teams, work as the director of data management and the analytics lead, and then formally formed Lyftron Data 3 years back. We start this journey and we have launched this solution last year. We are helping a couple of customers to be data driven. That's our motto.
Okay, that's a great, I think, a great journey, the great early startup that you had in. Now, obviously, you're making strides in the data world. I know about Lyftron Data, just being out there and doing wonders for their clients. So, also talking about the clients, Javed, would you want to let us know some clients that you had in the recent past, or and how many years it's been that Lyftron Data is in the business now?
We have launched, we have started working on the solution for the last 3 years. We had beta for 2 years, and then from last year we have formally launched, where we have some really good enterprise customers, some mid-level customers, and as well as the SMBs. So this year our target is to target SMBs and the mid-level customers as well, because we are planning to launch a free version where the people can come, they can collaborate, and they can utilize the platform. And then we are also coming up with a new pricing model where you will be simply paying based on the number of connections you are making. We want to make it as a commodity to make it much more simpler for the enterprises to use it, and then they can easily able to utilize it. So we have a couple of OEM partnership as well, where there are a lot of big organizations which is doing a Lyftron data OEM into their own platforms, where they do not want to build their custom pipelines and custom data governance and your data cataloging platform. So for that, they are using our platform as an OEM integration into their suite.
Okay, that sounds fair to me and makes sense to me, Javed. And also, let us just greet a few people who've just joined in. Danima is here. Hey, Danny. Thanks for joining. Aditi is here. Hey, Aditi. We have Amisha Agarwal. Hey, Amisha. Anisha Jain is here. I know they all had questions for you where we announced and there were so many questions. So please feel free to ask Javed questions around Lyftron data, and why he has that data ninja tag on his t-shirt. So don't hesitate. But I'm looking for an insightful session as well. I've known Javed since a while now, and he's definitely making some great strides. So yes, today that's one of the reasons why he's on the show, and we want to know more about it. Okay, Javed, before I take any questions from the audience, there's already one question. I just wanted to ask from you some tips and tricks that anyone starting from a career in data analytics, what would be your thoughts? What are the tips, the tricks that you would want to share?
I think with data analytics, the way I have started is, first you need to understand the main reason behind that, why you need data analytics. Because it's not like simply going and learning and simply whatever the book is telling you will do that. You will never going to learn the real aspect of it. First, understand what is the use case behind. The main use case is you want to get the information about the data, and based on that data, you will do action on the data. And that way you will help the organization to do certain actions. And based on those actions, either they will improve their sales, you will do further analysis to increase their awareness about the product, and so on. So for that, definitely right now, the journey for data is really, I think, really good, because you are having a lot of cloud companies are moving in the cloud. So you will definitely need to focus on the cloud-oriented area, where Snowflake is the platform to be, right? So whoever is listening should focus on Snowflake, because that is the future for the data warehousing industry, and the way the company has been going. So you will really have a very good career in that specific space. So just keep your cloud, AWS, Azure, and Snowflake focus on that, and I think you will have a very good career in your moving forward. And it's easy to find job, because these are a very, very niche skills. So always remember, do something which is niche, so that you will always be in demand. Never do things which everybody else is doing, because then there will be no demand for you.
Wow. I think that is gold coming from Javed. Obviously, just focus on something which is niche rather than follow the herd where everyone's going. Just don't follow that. It's better to have something which is your niche, and you find the niche and you get into it. And Snowflake is one of them.
Because that's how I made my career. I started my learning curve, but I never went into the path where everybody was going. I always been on the niche side, and this is why I came up to this place where I am today.
Wow. I think, yes, definitely. If we pick your journey, Javed, it is something which is amazing and which is extraordinary. Okay. Talking about journey, I had a question from Mahavir Kinvasra. Okay. So, hey, Javed and Ravit, are the services provided by Lyftron useful in the finance field?
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of finance customers. We have a lot of banking customers. So Lyftron is basically for any industry which is sitting on the data, because we are helping you eliminate your coding, and it's a low code and no code platform where you can easily able to combine the data from different sources without doing a single piece of coding, right? If your data has been coming from API, it's been coming from your Hadoop platform, from your NoSQL platform, from your ERPs, your CRM apps, we will combine everything together, and you can pretty much query all the data with simple NSI SQL, because we made NSI SQL as a part of your streaming process to query everything and standardize everything into the SQL format.
Okay, that sounds fair to me, and I'm sure. So yeah, Lyftron is into finance. It's not just that you guys are sitting into different fields or something which is very complicated, but yes, definitely into finance, and you have banking customers as well, the clients. So thank you, Mavi, for that question. Okay, so a question from my end that would be more focused on Lyftron. So Javed, how would you say Lyftron is different than the traditional ETN and ETL and ELT platforms, and how is it actually solving the bottleneck problem?
Yeah, I think for that, I would like to do some quick presentation, so that will give
Yeah.
the voice, basically some background to my voice as well. So let me share my screen, so that way it will be better to the audience to understand.
Yes, definitely. Why not? Let's do that.
Let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
now
So
see
as we
us.
said, I think Lyftron is your modern data platform built for the data-driven enterprises, where you can connect your any of your application. If the data has been sitting your web application, your legacy databases, your mobile apps, enterprise app, your ERP and IoT data, you can pretty much combine all of that thing and bring that together into one single platform. This is what we say as a consolidated platform where you're building your hub. So Lyftron idea was born from these three perspectives. Number one is to centralize all of your data in a normalized structure, and that way you can analyze it instantly with the BI and machine learning tool. Second thing is to reduce the cost of data management in the terms of hours that you're requiring to develop that job, and also the resources and the processes that is being required to support those pipelines that you've created, the custom pipeline that you've created, and enable data engineers and analysts to build or to run rapid, fast queries across all the unified sources that you can see it over here. So you can pretty much analyze the data, and this is how the Lyftron data will sit in between. You can easily able to normalize. You can query the data with simple SQL without worrying about loading that into a database. And then you can pretty much query the data, unload the data into your favorite data warehouse. We also support warehouse as a managed service with Lyftron data, or you can directly have it with any BI and machine learning tool. So this is a quick sneak peek of a traditional in-house ETL architecture. If you're building your pipeline yourself, so this is how we have seen that how different enterprises have been using. This is a quick example of how somebody is using a pipeline with different platforms. So here we have a data coming with different applications. You are doing a metadata store, you're doing the pull scripting, integrity and anomaly detector, then you're having a Kafka for the streamings. Then the Kafka has been syncing up with S3, and the S3 has been used for the backup. You may be having Spark for giving some performance to your loads that you're doing. Then you will be having a Lambda function, which is a serverless architecture on AWS to basically do some ETL for you. Then you'll be loading that thing on the EMR for giving the compute. You may be having Airflow for the orchestration. Then you'll be having a CloudWatch for your all the logs that you're generating, and then you'll be basically pushing everything into your Delta Lake on either on Databricks or on AWS. Then the same thing, you will again have to write the process to do the push this process into a data warehouse. So you can see this is a very complex web of the processes that you're doing, but you will be involving with many different tools, and you'll be doing a lot of custom coding. And this is how your complex in-house ETL solution pipeline would look like traditionally if you are building something. So you can see we are doing a lot of complex coding. If I need to connect with my ServiceNow, for example, because today's session is focused on ServiceNow. So for ServiceNow, if I need to connect manually, I need to do my OAuth process manually. I have to basically read to my endpoints, convert my endpoint JSON into a relational format, load the data into a database before I will analyze. So only to read a single endpoint, it has leads 4 to 5 step process, and you can see how complex it would be. So normally for one endpoint, just take anywhere from 40 hours for one person, one manpower to do that. So this is where we consider these are the bottlenecks. So you can see a drawback of an in-house ETL solution. You will require more manpower. You will require more efforts. It's overly complicated and it's way too costly as well, because creating an in-house ETL solution is not easy considered as a technology bottleneck, because you can't support custom ETL process without hiring costly developers. And there is a very limited shortage of these people in the market. So you have to end up spending way more money and end up hiring way more people. It's required way more efforts because you need to build everything manually from ground one. So if you want to build a project and you have to have a go-to-market in 6 months, you cannot do that because you cannot meet those SLAs. Sometimes those projects basically do not really be successful. It's been shelved in between because of budget concerns and so on. And it's overly complicated because you have to convert, you have to write everything from API conversions or from different dialect conversions from ground one. And it's overly costly as well, because everything what you're doing is time consuming. You're spending a lot more time. You're basically having at least 2 to 3 months of a life cycle to build a very small project. So this is where Lyftron modern data technical architecture come into play, where we are simplifying everything without you worrying about doing any piece of coding. So Lyftron data it's moving from left to right. You can see all the modern data sources are on the left. Then we have a data virtualization piece, which will let you virtualize whatever you are seeing as a standardized format. We have a data profiling piece as well, which will let you profile whatever you've been basically getting upfront. We have a data replication piece as well, which will let you replicate the deltas from the source in the target without you worrying about doing any piece of code. We have a built-in ETL and ELT engine, which will let you basically build your pipelines automatically. Simply drag and drop and up and go and running. We support most of the major bulk operations, so that way you do not need to worry about doing the stuff manually one by one. Then we have a built-in data governance into play, where you can control the overall governance of your life cycle, and also the built-in data catalog, which will let you give the full data dictionary on all the data assets that you have. So this is where the Lyftron data will come into place. As soon as you will connect, you will normalize the data, then you build your lake, you will warehouse your data, and then you will build your semantic layer, and that's how you will connect with your machine learning or your data scientist. You can have your data analyst can directly connect, and anybody who are a BI analyst people, they can also directly connect with the platform.
Wow.
So this is showing a quick journey here, how ServiceNow integration normally works. So we show you we shown you in the previous slide that how complex it is to build this type of integration with a custom ETL platforms. You have to do everything custom. But in our case, simply we built our connectors, and the beauty about those connectors are those will automatically convert your API models into a relational format. Then we are giving you a mechanism to directly fire a select queries against those APIs or those different dialects. And then you can directly connect your BI platform to Lyftron data to analyze the data. And then you can push your downstream application wherever you would like to land it. If you want to do it, MDM solution, data governance, machine learning. So there is just to name a few use cases, but you can have many different use cases that can be solved with this.
Sounds good.
So what benefits are you getting out of our solution? The main thing we are solving is you can now query API over SQL layer, where there is no need to code anything. You have automatic pipeline creation without any code or low code. There is no learning curve required and specialist skill requirement, because this platform is built fully on the SQL. So anybody and everybody who understands SQL can easily work, and the people who do not even understand, they can easily able to work in our platform, because this is a fully self-paced platform. Is a better return of investment, and you can meet your SLAs because you control the overall mechanism of your project delivery directly in your hand. Is easily able to build your complex pipeline, and you can easily able to apply your transformation in matter of minutes, not in months, as we have seen in the case of a traditional ETL platforms. So what is our secret? So our secret is definitely the simplicity is the number one thing we are targeting. the standardization of your development cycle, cost, time, and value, because these are the main pillars which we are targeting to make enterprises to be fully data-driven. So what you will be getting with Lyftron data, so we say normally it's all of your data, all of your security, and all of your insights that you never thought possible in a single platform. So very first use case we are solving is there is no more complex ETLs and ELTs required, because we are automatically building that for you. You can easily able to democratize your data with Ansize SQL. It's shortened time to insight. You can easily able to do a hybrid cloud management and migration from different clouds of your choice and different data warehouses of your choice. We have a built-in Apache Spark engine, which will give you the real compute and the real power on the engine itself. We have an enhanced security of the data, which will give you both row level and column level security. We have a very cost-effective licensing model, which we are supporting both on-premise, SaaS, and PaaS offerings. We have a built-in data sharing where you can easily able to share the data from one organization to another, as well as from one department to another, without worrying about writing or sending the data over API, or writing APIs, or sending the data over email. Simple interface, no coding is needed. Where you simply drag and drop and up and running, and that way you will have your full data cataloging, data warehouse, and your real-time sync support. I think this is a very detailed level overview of how Lyftron data works, and I'll get back to
Exactly.
you.
I think definitely this makes a lot of sense. Javed, I think you've explained everything in detail that Lyftron is doing, and we had some comments as well, from people where they were excited about the presentation. It was a fantastic presentation. You've just given the right overview, and I think Lyftron Data has kind of created a great platform for themselves, and definitely you've spent years to create that, and it is kind of, your connect, analyzing the tagline which you have is definitely fantastic, because it can you've given thought behind it and then created that tagline, which kind of connects well with what you've done, because through the presentation I've understood one thing, how you normalize, analyze, and then the stuff very well. So sounds great. Okay, we have a few questions. Let's just quickly take a few of them. From Shamir Raza, very insightful conversation. Looking forward to hearing all about Lyftron and how it is revolutionizing the data engineering field. So how is it revolutionizing the whole
It's revolutionizing the data engineering field, because now you do not need to code anything. We are built our connectors, and those connectors are taking care of the heavy lifting of your data, heavy lifting of the norm, because normalization is the main pain point when you read the data from different APIs. Somebody has to build those APIs custom. So that's what our connectors are doing, and they are easily able to do that conversion into a relational format for you.
Okay, that sounds good. I think Shamir definitely hears that out very well. And just one question from my end. What are the 4 very common, challenges that you actually face in today's data field, that you feel every day that these are the challenges in data field?
The main challenge that I would say is to standardize your data from different platforms into a single standardized format, and is to convert your JSON or XML into a relational structure that you can easily able to analyze it and build the pipelines automatically without you worrying about building those things basically custom, and basically building those things basically manually. And the number 4 challenge is basically how would you get the replication and the changes from these different sources instantly into your target. So those are the 4 main areas which we are also basically targeting and helping enterprises to be fully data driven by utilizing our platform.
Okay, fantastic. I think you've very well joined the hands in terms of the problems that you face in the you face in the data field. But there was a question around you being the CEO of Lyftron Data. What are the daily challenges that you face? Obviously, that might be a little different from the internal process, but in general, what are the challenges that you?
I think
I'm sure many.
On daily basis, I basically wake up and I always just think of that how I will solve a specific problem that my customer is asking, because we do get a lot of custom requirement from our customers, and they will say, okay, we are getting this much of thing in Lyftron. Can you do this? Can you do that? So what we are doing, we keep on adding those into our backlog, and we want to have this platform growing and keep on adding those features to it. So that way we are making it the X factor in the industry, where you can easily able to customize, you can build your own process, and we can get the work done for your to-be architecture pretty soon.
No, yeah, exactly. I can only imagine, the clients talking about and doing, maybe telling you things to do their way, and how you tackle that is one big challenge. Obviously, there are clients which obviously have different altogether the requirements, and all work on different tangent, and I think, yeah, definitely being a CEO is first thing you need to understand, and just be out there for each and every client and understand their requirements. So yeah, great work, Javed. Okay, we had another question by Srinivasan. Can you please briefly touch on feature functionality of your solution offering?
Okay, so the main functionality that we are solving is we are solving 6 use cases in the industry that our platform is basically coming. The number one use case is the data virtualization, because that's the need of the hour, where you do not need to manually bring the data if you do not want to, right? So we are able, through our platform, you can able to connect with anything, either ServiceNow, your ERP platforms, your CRM platforms, your NoSQL, your traditional databases together. And we will able to convert everything into ANSI SQL format, so you can query everything with a single dialect. You do not need to worry about understanding the dialect of different platforms. Second thing is building automatic pipelines from all of these sources. Suppose once you analyze your data, which is the first thing, then you will understand the anonymity of your data. Then you would like to land this data into your target platform. It could be either lake or it could be a warehouse. So then we are supporting the full bulk basically pipelining from these into either a Snowflake platform or into your Redshift platform or into a Lyftron warehouse platform as well. As depend on your choice. Then the third use case we are solving is a data governance, because once you land the data, you need to understand how you will secure the access on that specific table, on that specific column. How would I encrypt the personal information that I do not want to share with the rest of my team? So we are supporting that feature as well. Once you're done with the data governance, then you would like to analyze your full data dictionary. Whatever I have landed from different sources or different data assets that I have, how would I do enterprise level search in all of my data assets? That's where the data cataloging and data dictionary will come into play. Once you're done with that, then we are also providing a data profiling, where you can easily able to profile the data at the column level. You can generate the report, and then you can share the report with your peers. You can collaborate with your peers in real time and send the emails and generate those reports. After that, another innovative feature that we have added is the data sharing. The data sharing means you want to bring the other organization to utilize your data consumption role. So now you can easily able to simply onboard them by sending the link to them, and they can access the data or the asset that you would like them to basically see.
I think
so. These are the major use cases that we are solving, which will let enterprises basically adopt the platform, and they can easily able to have all these use cases can be solved in a single platform together.
Wow, I think definitely these are amazing use cases. 6 use cases that I see you've mentioned, and all of them are fantastic. And it kind of gives a clear overview about how Lyft is actually offering the solution. So, which is great. And thanks for explaining that in detail. Thanks for Srinivasan for that amazing question. Okay, Javed, I had a question for you. Obviously, when we talk about being in such a data field where it's so noisy, how does Lyftron data actually keep themselves up and keep competing with obviously the tech giants and make their presence there? How do you do it?
Our main focus is simplicity, right? Because that's what we are targeting. We just want to make sure that is we able to provide a different experience, a better experience to our customers, so that way they can utilize the pipeline or data management lifecycle as a commodity. That's what we're targeting.
Yeah.
So when you talk as a commodity, so we want to make things easy for them, so that way it will be available easily without them worrying about doing any piece of custom coding, and so that way you can easily able to anybody who is a non-engineer as well, somebody who is a fresher, they can also easily able to utilize our platform. Somebody who is a non-technical, who is not an engineer, somebody with a management background, they can also use the platform. So we make it easy
Wow.
for anybody and everybody who works in that space, so they can utilize it. Whereas our competitors are specifically focusing only on data engineers, only on the technical people who can utilize their platform, and that's where we are eliminating that bridge or that gap with Lyftron data.
I think your positioning in your thought process is very clear. When I said wow for the competitors as well, you've read them very well. You obviously, being a CEO, you need to know your competition well, and then only you can place your offerings much better in a place where your clients will feel enthusiastic about what you're doing. So definitely amazing work that you're doing, Javed. Thanks for that explanation. And okay, Javed. Also, since we are talking about, we are towards a little about the competition. So I wanted to know what is the unique selling point of Lyftron. I know you spoke about your secret sauce, but then still, what is that unique selling point, USP of Lyftron data that you would say?
I think the unique selling point, that the USP that we have as compared to others is overall basically we are doing a SQL Server virtualization, right? We're evaluating the full database features with our platform. So pretty much as soon as you will connect, we will automatically create a database for that source for you. So you can interact Lyftron data like any other database platform. If you're familiar with how you will work with the SQL Server or with Postgres or with the client tools like DBeaver or with any other client tools like Toad or something. So Lyftron data analyze feature is very similar to that. The only difference with us and them is that they will not allow a cross-platform join between a Postgres database and Oracle database or SQL Server database. Whereas in our case, you can do a cross-platform joins or cross-platform analysis between a different databases or different APIs together in a single platform. So if you would like to analyze the data between the Google ads and between the Facebook ads, you can do that combination through our analyze feature, through our query builder feature.
Wow. I think yes, definitely that brings that USP, and kind of you've actually put the comparison very much right. We're talking about Google ad and Facebook ad. So yeah, thanks for that, Javed. Okay, so since we spoke about the competition, about the tech giants, also wanted to know a little more about Lyftron data in the future. What do you think after like in next 3 to 5 years? Where would you see? Okay, I wouldn't say 5 years. That would be too ahead, but at least 3 years down the line, where do you see Lyftron data, and where do you see it going?
I think at this point in 1 year, we have received a very good reviews from our customers. And I think at G2 site, we've been nominated as a leader consistently for the last 6 months. So we are getting a good, and this is where we're trying to be. I think next year we are targeting, or this year, and we are targeting that we should be in the leader category in the Gartner as well. And we'll be able to onboard many more customers in the SMBs and in the mid-level market, because enterprises, we are already getting big customers. The only thing we need to target is SMB sector now, so that we can easily able to have Lyftron data as a commodity. When I'm saying the word as a commodity, so we just want to make it so easy and so basically affordable for anybody and everybody to utilize this platform in their daily data basically routine.
Wow. I think that's something which would be divine, at least for the customers, because we could easily use it at a affordable rate, and that's something obviously I'll be happiest to see that coming in the next 3 months. 3 years. So thanks for that. Javed, also quick question. Since we were obviously I always wanted to know. Wanted to always see that that demo of how you can enable real time streaming and bulk loading from ServiceNow to Snowflake. Do you think you can show it to us online on air today?
Oh yeah, definitely. I can show you that. So let me just share my screen
Fantastic.
here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's up there.
Okay, so this is a Lyftron GUI. It's a fully web-based GUI where you can come in, and it's a very nicely documented where it's showing you different onboarding at a glance, how exactly you will utilize the platform. The same way you're showing the different tabs, the same way we have the tab being assigned here. So you know
Yeah.
what is the use case of each of these tabs. So pretty much the dashboard where you can see the number of data sources that you connected, number of connections that you have, how many number of tables you imported, number of users, how many active, how many workflows been running. This is a connection tab where you will create your connection. This is the first area where you will land. And we have split up these connections into different categories. You have different sources. We're supporting more than 300 connectors that you will connect to our platform. And the targets are mostly the databases. We are right now supporting only writing into databases or data warehouses, but you can always have an option to use a REST APIs to write it anywhere of destination of your choice. Then we have different categories of these segments, that which applications or which of the apps you would like to use. Suppose if you want to use it specifically for e-commerce, so we have all the applications relevant for the e-commerce. If you would like to use for data lakes, so we have all these applications relevant for data lakes. So now let's go to ServiceNow. So I have my ServiceNow instance up here. So let me switch on this instance. Give me a second. Okay, so my instance is up. I'll just need to elevate the role to security admin. That way I can able to pick up everything from ServiceNow. Now this has been done, so I can pretty much go here. I already have a connection established here for ServiceNow. So you can see it here. This is we are supporting 2 ways of connection with ServiceNow. You can either connect with the basic option where you were writing everything yourself, or you can do it with OAuth. So we will just simply connect with that. So it will ask you to add your instance name, which you can directly copy it from here. Right, so I have done that. Then your username and password, simply test it. It says it's successful, save it. So our connection is established. And then we are doing the same way a target connection as well. So I have created my Snowflake connection here. Going into my Snowflake environment. So I want to land the data here. After that, our second option is to create your normalization, where we are converting everything that ServiceNow have into a relation format. So if you can see it here, I've imported some tables, but I will show you how exactly it will work. So when you click on import, so right now our connectors are at work. So you can see in just matter of minutes, we have converted 3,978 endpoints into a relational format. So all these are the tables, right? And if you would have done this thing with a traditional tool, so only one endpoint, I showed that mapping earlier to you, only one endpoint will need minimum 40 hours for a development. Now think of, if you would like to do these many endpoint conversion into a relational format, then you will be looking no less than 6 months for this type of work. Then you can simply click it here. You would import everything. Once it's been imported, so tables will look like this. Now I can easily able to go inside the tables. I can go to my columns. Further, you can go inside this column. Suppose if this column may contain some sensitive information, suppose system name may look sensitive to me. If I would like to encrypt this data, simply come here and click on the sensitive data. We will automatically encrypt for you. Further, we are providing you column level data profiling as well. You can see your data here to check the anomalies between the distinct and distinct with count. You can assign your data governance rights here, that who will have access to it, and then you can assign different tagging here, that how this data will be visible in your data dictionary. Normalize is a feature where you will understand your data, you will understand the source system, because we are exposing the full data model of the source system for you without you worrying about that specific system.
Yeah.
Then pretty much we have the full-fledged query feature where you can simply drag and drop, right?
Oh.
These are all the tables. Now you can see all these tables have come. Now you can simply drag and drop, and we will ask you what type of actions would you like to perform. I would like to simply fire a select query, and I would like to say, okay, select top 10 records. Now we are firing a select query, but behind the scene, our connectors are converting this thing into a get request to the source. And once we're getting the response back, so it's going to show us in a relational format. So as being a user, your only interaction with the tool or with the source APIs or any dialect would be with the SQL base. Because now you can easily able to query, you can easily able to analyze, you can easily able to basically understand the nitty-gritty of your source system without worrying about unloading that into a target database.
Wow.
So it will give you the result back. I think because this is coming on over an API, it will take a few seconds because I'm using the test instance. If you're having your own dedicated instance for ServiceNow, it will be much faster.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll give it a few minutes.
Yep. Also, Javed, can you show us how you can actually accelerate the data movement after this, and with the power of obviously Spark Compute, and
Yes, so
make the
we'll do that.
data
So
instantly available?
here I am my warehouse where I created a Snowflake as a warehouse. Then simply click on migrate data, click on the
Yeah.
source. So now you can see it will show me all of these tables in one go, and it will automatically create the pipelines also in one go. So I can simply create, if I want to do for all, I can do for all. If I would need for few, so I can just create for few.
Wow.
So it's creating
That's
a
very
pipeline
much
right now.
automated. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see this is everything in bulk. You do not need to worry about going one-to-one and doing it one-to-one. We will automatically create it based on the sources. And then if you're doing it one-to-one, then you do it this way. If you want to do some transformation, then we have a UI to transform this data as well, where you can create different components, drag and drop different component, different functions that you would like to do, and then you can get it done that way.
Yeah.
You can see this pipeline has been created. Now you can simply do, this is the bulk operation. You can go individually as well, but for the bulk, you can show that which schema you would like to lend with it. I want to lend with it and do ServiceNow and Snowflake. Simply click it here, add it here. Now these tables will be added. It's creating the table in the Snowflake right now. Once this piece has been done, then we are simply going and load this data. So now you can see the job has been started, and you can see all the different job process being executing here, and we can see the data coming up here.
I can only imagine the engineering that has gone behind this platform. It's just automated everything so well.
Yep, you can see the data will be landing up in the Lyftron schema here in any moment.
Yeah.
So there are some ServiceNow tables that came over here that we just selected. So it's been synced.
Yep.
And after that, if you would like to do the compute on the Spark, then you can directly have a Spark built in as a single node,
Wow.
but you can always add as a Spark instance of your choice. If you would like to land this compute on the EMR, then simply spin out the EMR cluster and spin out this compute on the full push down the EMR. So that way you can easily able to do the load balancing on the Spark cluster of your choice.
Okay. That's fantastic.
And specifically for the people who love machine learning, so we have a direct integration with the notebook here. So we have a
Wow.
collaboration, Google Colab. Simply open the new notebook.
Uh-huh.
Right now, whatever you have done with Lyftron data, you can connect with it with this specific credentials, because we are
Okay.
emulating SQL Server protocol on the fly. Then you can connect with the notebook as a SQL Server database, and whatever code, whatever pipelines you have created here, it can be directly available here. And then you can do further analysis
Google
of that
Colab.
data with the Python code and so on.
Pretty interesting.
And same way, we have a direct integration with different BI tools. You can connect us with Excel, with
Excel as well.
BI tools.
Wow.
Yeah, you can directly connect with Excel. So anything that is you connected here with ServiceNow, if you want to do the reporting with Excel, you can directly connect with Lyftron data with this specific credential there, and then you can easily able to analyze the data with Excel.
Amazing.
And you can also connect with any of your application development platform of your choice. If you would like to connect with your Python, with your Golang, and other platforms of your choice that you're building, or Azure function or Lambda function, you can directly do that, because we are acting as a database as well. Because whatever we are doing, it's automatically virtualizing in a SQL Server database. So you can connect us with the REST service route or with a SQL Server route.
Okay. So everything's in just one place to be true. It's just out there. In anything and everything, whichever you feel comfortable, you can,
Exactly. So based on your use case, you can utilize how exactly you would like to use it, and then you can do that. And then we have this cataloging feature, which will let you build your data dictionary automatically. You can see it's automatically bring all the objects and it categorize it. How many databases, how many schemas, how many tables, how many pipelines, and how
all
many
of it.
columns. And you can easily able to search across your ServiceNow or your other instances that you will connect. If I need to search with the term city, if it has any keyword, then it will basically show me there are no such keywords. Let's see what other keywords it has. So you can see with that ServiceNow, it's able to bring me anything which contain that specific keyword.
Yeah. Everything's there.
Yep. So I think it's a very self-paced platform. You can easily able to use it the way you want it, right? And you can easily able to scale it the way you want it, because we have given a very good, I think, self-paced process in the hand of the developers or an analyst, so they can easily able to utilize this platform the way they are feeling comfortable.
Exactly. No, I think this is definitely very exciting. I can see some comments coming up as well. From Ali, says very exciting, very excited, Javed, with your vision on being Gartner leader, as you mentioned, and yes, well deserved. Joe was here. He says exciting and very innovative, great presentation. Syed is also here, very informative and well explained webinar about data engineering and its real life use cases. So yeah, definitely very, very interesting, because I have learned a lot today from Lyftron data and what it is, because I had a completely different overview. It was just another platform for me, but now I see there are many integrations to it. There are many, there's a lot of engineering which has gone behind it, and now I know why that unique selling point is very much justified. Thanks for that, Javed. Detailed explanation, great demo, loved it. And on a lighter note, to continue the session, obviously I wanted to ask who are the three people in data community who actually inspires you to become much better in your profession in the whole data field?
I would say I follow very closely Kent Graziano. He is my mentor at Snowflake. So I follow him very closely. And then we have Robert Regan. He's supposed to be my ex-colleague, so I followed him very closely. He was part of Lyftron Data in the beginning, but he is in a different organization now. And I followed Kate very closely. I think she is launching the Data Cadet conference as well.
Yeah. Amazing. I guess all the three top-notch data folks. And yes, as you mentioned about Data Catered Conference, it's happening today and tomorrow. So do not forget to tune in to Data Catered Conference. It's one of the best conferences that are happening. So thanks for that, Javed. And also wanted to ask if you wanted to actually suggest some of the books to our audience in data field, which books would they be actually?
I think if somebody is planning to have their career in data warehousing or data management, then the very first book that I would suggest is that I still have in my rack still a couple of versions of those books, because I started reading when I started my career, and I do not leave those because I still use those books whenever my customer asks me for some specific use cases. So it's really handy for you.
Yeah.
You will definitely need Ralph Kimball data warehousing
Ah,
toolkit. You definitely need Ralph Kimball, your ETL toolkit. And then I have also written a couple of books on Snowflake. If you're planning to do or building your career on Snowflake, then I have written a couple of ebooks as well that I will be sharing. I think that I will send the links to you. So for the
yeah.
audience, if they are planning to do that hands-on session, so I have a very good hands-on session in that, where you can easily able to up and running in less than 60 minutes and able to build your pipelines with Lyftron data and Snowflake in no time.
Wow, I think my next question was exactly the same thing, because you have so much knowledge about books. So when are you writing book, and you have already written? I would love to have your book, and I would love to share it with our audience. People know me as one who shares good resources. So why not share something which is written freehand by you? So definitely looking forward to that. Okay, it was fun having you, Javed. A lot of discussion around Lyftron, and I know for a fact that Lyftron is doing some fantastic work. So if anyone wants to reach out to you, if they want to meet you, if they have questions around Lyftron, where can they find you? Which is the best place to get in
I
touch with
think
you?
the best place is LinkedIn to reach out to me. Otherwise, they can directly send
Okay.
the email to me as well at javed.syed, my first name and last name at lyftrondata.com. I am easily accessible at
Okay.
that email.
Okay. Fantastic. That sounds good. Thank you very much, Javed, and thanks everyone for joining in. It was a lovely session with you, Javed.
Same here. Thanks all.
Thank you, everyone.